Something you should know.
Time now for Something You Should Know, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. That is also something you should know, that you can put your retirement plan on the gold standard. Genesis Gold Group is the only IRA backed by physical gold and silver. Learn more right now and get a free gold and silver guide at GenesisGoldIRA.com. Super excited to visit right now with a very funny stand-up comic, Tom Thakkar, and he is all over the country doing comedy, and we are so blessed to have him in Sioux Falls on Saturday, July 27th. It's before you know it, he'll be here. Tom, thanks for joining us today. I'm excited to have you in Sioux Falls.
Thanks for having me, John. Excited to get out to Sioux Falls for the first time.
Well, we're excited to have you here, and I get to open the show for you, so we get to work together in a couple weeks.
That's very exciting, John. What kind of material are you doing up there?
It's all pretty much just dumb stories of things that I've done, because I keep doing stupid things.
That's the sort of thing. I don't know if you got my rules for my openers, but no stupid stories about things you've done. That's off the list.
I have nothing but fart jokes then, so I guess we're in for a treat.
That's also off. No fart jokes, no talking about your family. No dirty stuff, no crowd work, no clean stuff either.
No, I am in so much trouble. No, I am so excited. First of all, how long have you been doing stand-up comedy, Tom?
I started in about 2010, so about 14 years now.
And what was it that kind of drew you to that? What was it that made you decide, I am going to get on stage and bare my soul to these people?
Well, I was obsessed with watching comedy as a kid. My mom made the mistake of letting me have a TV in my bedroom, and so I would watch Comedy Central all the time. And I was like, man, I want to do this. This seems so fun. And I also assumed that everybody who was on Comedy Central was like a multi-millionaire, and now that I've done that, I can assure you that is not true.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a club opened up in my hometown while I was in college, and I was like, oh man, I was working at a hospital at the time, and I was like, man, I want to go over there and try out the open mic. And soon enough, I was no longer going to med school, and I was just doing comedy full time.
I love that.
And one thing led to another. It's kind of one of those things where I was like, I'm going to try this out. It seems like it would be cool if I could make it work. And then I just became obsessed with it.
And as you look at the opportunities you've had come along, is there something along the way that you look back and go, I still think this was like my favorite thing I've ever had a chance to do?
Oh yeah, getting booked at Sioux Falls. That's number one.
Well, let's take that one off the list. What else on the list there?
No, there were a couple, but I felt really lucky that I grew up watching Conan O'Brien, and I got really lucky that I was able to perform in that show before it ended. And so I look back at that as something that's really cool, because I'm like, that doesn't even exist anymore. And I got to do it while it was still around. But the big things for me were I grew up watching those Comedy Central half-hour specials. So when I got to do one of those myself, that felt like full circle. Like, oh, I'm doing what made me do this, what made me get into this. It's crazy. And to think like, oh, maybe I can be that for some kid watching this right now.
And that probably has happened. I bet there's some kids that have been watching that and they see you and they go, man, I want to do what he's doing, what he does. I bet that guy's super wealthy because he's on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've always noticed is like when the Forbes list of the most wealthy people on the planet come out, I always look to see how many of these people are comics. And
yeah.
I don't think any of them have quite made the list.
Maybe one. Yeah, and the guys you've like never even heard of, where you're like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
I mean, that I had never heard of. Like, it's usually a guy who has puppets, but not Jeff Dunham. And you're like, what is this? I got the wrong. Maybe I'll bring a puppet to Sioux Falls.
That'd be fun.
I've never done any work with that, but I'll wear a mask. Like, I'll wear one of those face masks that you can't tell if I'm talking or not.
Yeah, 2020 would have been the best year to break into ventriloquism, really. Like, it wouldn't matter if your lips are moving or not.
I thought it would be funny, because there was a time where we had to wear masks on stage. It was really weird. And I was thinking, like, man, going to see a puppet guy right now, you just have to keep being like, trust me, I'm doing it.
My lips are not moving. I promise. The other thing you could do is you could bring a ventriloquist dummy on stage and then just never have the dummy say anything. Just do your entire set completely straight without even pointing out the fact that you have a dummy on your lap.
Right. And just have him make faces. Like, you just judge if I think with his face. I'm like, I've really only learned that part of it.
Or you can have him laughing. He's laughing at all your jokes.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of hoping you do that. Well, I'm excited to work with you. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm going to throw a link to make it easy for folks to find tickets. And you've got a bunch of stuff between now and then, but I am excited to have you in Sioux Falls. Thank you also for taking the time to chat.
Hey, of course. Thanks for having me, John. I'm excited to work together, man.
Absolutely. Again, Tom Thakkar, he'll be in Sioux Falls at the Icon Lounge. It is coming up on Saturday, the 27th of July. So if you don't have tickets yet, you can get them now. All of the details at Sioux Falls Comedy on Facebook. So facebook.com/Sioux Falls Comedy. But I also have a link at facebook.com/Sunny Radio and facebook.com/Sioux Falls News. And that is Something You Should Know.
And something you should know.
Something You Should Know is brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Put your retirement plan on the gold standard. Get a free gold and silver guide now at GenesisGoldIRA.com.